Hey everyone, welcome back to Scripture Study with Smithy. Just outside again, down the log pile. I've just found a new home. Dig myself in around here in this log pile. Anyway, uh, every now and again I do like a Matthew 24 video. Let's do one today. Alright, sorry, I had to pause for the traffic. Matthew 24:42. The Lord said to his disciples, "Watch therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord doth come." Okay, so the question is, what are we watching for? If we back up into the previous verses, it says, "Of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only." Okay, no one knows the hour when Jesus is coming, but he's given us signs, right, so that we can know that roughly the time that he's going to return. So when he says, "Watch therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord doth come," watch for the signs, right? Watch for the evidences or the proof, the things that he mentioned, which can give us a time frame and an understanding of when he's coming. Sorry, just a bit of traffic. So that's the important thing, is watch therefore. And when he says watch therefore, it's not a casual thing, right? He's instructing his disciples that if they really want to know the times, like this was Matthew 24 comes off a question, right? The question right at the very start is, hold on, let me pause. So right at the very start in Matthew 24, verse 3, it says, "He was sitting at meat with his disciples privately, and they said, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?" Right? So in response to those questions, that's where you get the scriptures. So just like us, right? When we ask God, he's going to answer us. It's not always the way that we think. And there's always usually something that we have to do. And so he's telling his disciples that they need to watch. Okay, and in verse 44, "Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh." It's a busy day today, lots of traffic around. So be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. Which is interesting, right? In an hour when ye think not. God's ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. Sometimes we can be a bit premature. We can think that things are about to happen, but actually it takes a lot longer. And a good example of this is the Y2K bug, the year 2000, when everyone was in a panic. People were selling their houses. They were like stressed out that the end of the world's happening. They're all gathering together in different areas, these believers, and they were expecting Jesus to return. And the clocks were going to stop, remember? It was going to, like Notre Dame predicted something. So there was like a whole heap of speculation, and a lot of people sold their houses and everything, businesses, and got ready for the rapture, but it didn't happen. In an hour when we think not, the Son of Man cometh. So we can get caught up in these kind of philosophies of men, these kind of, um, you know, panic-stricken, you know, false prophets who can tell us that, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, all the signs and all the prophecies are, and then we can be premature, and which has been like we're 26 years further down the track, right, from that. And in that 26 years, I can count a number of times when I've thought, man, we're getting close to when the Lord's coming, you know. And the more I look at it, the more I think, yeah, there's still a few things that have to happen. There's still a few things that have to happen, but a lot of the prophecies have been fulfilled. So we need to just watch, right, and be ready, because we're looking for the signs, and we don't know exactly when he's going to come. He's going to come in a time when we don't think it will happen, right? So it could be at a time when we know that there's going to be great persecution against the church, and a lot of Christians are going to suffer for the sake of the name of the Lord, which has already happened if you take into account the early disciples and how they were crucified and persecuted, stoned to death, right up until now. Like, there's been a lot of persecution through that time, and it's we've had a little bit of grace time when the gospel has to go to all the world, right? Everyone has to hear the gospel preached, and so it's happening. And so you have to look at all the signs. You can't just look at a couple of them. There's a whole heap of signs that he said in here, and we need to watch for all of them, and we need to be ready. What does being ready mean? Being ready means, let's refer to the parable of the 10 virgins, right? The wise ones had oil in their lamps. They were ready when he came because they had spiritually prepared. They had oil in their lamps because they were spiritually prepared, and they had done the work necessary to be able to survive the long night that comes. He comes somewhere in the night, right? And those that didn't have their lamps trimmed, oil in their lamps, they didn't have enough to get through the night. They had to go looking for more oil, but it was too late. And when they came knocking, he didn't let them in, right? So we need to make sure that we're not one of those ones who leave it too late, who aren't watching, aren't waiting, aren't preparing. Yeah, busy day today. So there's a couple of thoughts from Matthew chapter 24. Watch. What are we watching for? We're watching for all the signs. And why are we, and be also ready. What are we ready for? We're ready for the second coming of Christ, but we're also ready for the trials and tribulations that come before that. All right. For in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. We're ready spiritually because we could die tomorrow. We could die today, and we're gonna go meet God, right? That's it. You've done your preparation. Or we might have to pass through some of these things and wait for him to come and be here on the earth when he arrives again. So it's just a couple of thoughts, right? To watch and be ready. Not hard. I encourage everyone to read Matthew 24 again and to write down what you're actually watching for. 2, how can you be ready? Does he teach us in that how we can be ready? Or are there other scriptures in the New Testament that teach us how to be ready for him? Just some thoughts. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your study.